Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is Lim, and today I would like to share with you a quick comparison between the Huawei Y9, the 2019 version, as well as the Honor 8X. So both these devices are extremely similar to one another. They share a lot of common similarities in terms of specifications, so pay close attention to the tiny differences.
Okay, so before we begin, let's just take a quick look at the specifications. As you can see, they're both very similar. Both devices have the same LCD, the same processor, the amount of internal storage with RAM. The main differences here is the camera setup and the amount of battery that both devices have. The prices are also very similar, so if you want to take a quick look, just hit pause on the video and check out the specs.
Okay, so now that we have got the specs out of the way, let's talk build quality. So first, the Y9. You can identify the Huawei Y9 from its slightly curved back. So you'll notice that both edges here are very curved and it feels pretty good in hand. This device is light and very easy to manage. So because it is slightly curved at the back, it kind of fits nicely into your palm. On the other hand, the Honor 8X is a different build device. So it has flat backs, as you can see right here. The sides are aluminum compared to the plastics on the Y9, and overall this phone feels heavier than the Y9. So if you talk about the perceived build quality, the Honor 8X actually feels better than the Y9. One thing I have to mention about my Y9 is I'm not sure if my device is a lemon unit, but there is some black spots at the bottom. Also, there is some chip off on the lens, the rim of the lens. So build quality is a bit questionable on the Y9. Again, I would say that the build quality for the 8X is way better than the Y9, and in terms of the looks, it really depends on you if you prefer this kind of look compared to this kind.
Both devices have the same displays, and as you can see here, the Huawei Y9 and the Honor 8X both have great displays in indoor situations. So you can definitely enjoy good shows on both these devices because colors turn out pretty nice and the brightness levels is sufficient for indoors. However, the same can't be said when you bring both devices outdoors. As you can see here, you can barely see the information on the screen, and even at maximum brightness, both these devices are very dim, and I think that even on this kind of situation where it is cloudy and not even like sunny, it is already very dim outdoors. So bear in mind that this is not a great device for outdoor use. Okay, now let's talk about the performance of both devices. The Honor 8X and the Huawei Y9 both use the same processor, they have the same GPU, and they also have the same amount of RAM, which is 4GB in this case. So I purposely bought both devices with the same specs so that I can have a very fair comparison. Overall, using these devices have been pretty smooth. Browsing apps, launching social media apps, watching videos and all that has been very smooth so far, and I don't see any lags. Of course, this is not the fastest device in the market, but it's definitely good for the price. Meanwhile, I've also done a benchmark and you can see the results here. This basically gives you an idea of how this device may perform when compared to other devices. So if you would like to see more on the benchmark results, just hit pause on the video and check out the scores. Okay, now let's talk about the batteries on both these devices. So on the 8X, there is a slightly smaller battery than the Huawei Y9, but in real life use, this doesn't actually cause a big difference. Obviously, the Huawei Y9 will have slightly better battery, but at the end of the day, it only gives me about an extra 1 hour of battery life. So it really depends on you. If you think that this 1 hour is crucial, then maybe you should consider more on the Y9. Both devices will charge off micro USB, and there is no quick charge here, so expect to charge slightly slower than what you would expect from other devices. Okay, so the second difference between the Honor 8X and Huawei Y9 is their cameras. So let's talk about the main cameras now. The Honor 8X has a 20+2 megapixel camera, whereas the Y9 has a 16+2 megapixel camera. Both these devices have AI camera, which means all it does is it adds a more saturated filter on top of the images you've already taken. Taking a look at both these devices, we can see that they both launch the camera very quickly. They both also have the same modes. Everything is very similar between both devices, but let's talk about the image quality. Does the extra 4 megapixel that the Honor 8X has makes it better than the Huawei Y9? Let's take a look at the samples. Okay, so for all the photos shot here, I have turned off AI mode to ensure that all pictures are raw and comes out directly from the camera's auto mode. Okay, so from all the pictures that I've taken, I've noticed that the Honor 8X has a sharper image, like pictures turn out clearer and sharper. On the Huawei Y9, you notice that some pictures are a bit soft, and even under bright daylight, it is the same situation. So looking at both pictures side by side, I tend to notice that the Honor 8X takes more color accurate pictures, sharper images, and overall just a better looking picture. In terms of low light conditions, both cameras are able to absorb enough light to ensure that the picture taken is brightly lit enough. As you can see here, both looks very similar to one another, but again, the Honor 8X has a more accurate and sharper image. Another differentiating factor between the Huawei Y9 and the Honor 8X is its selfie camera. So it's been heavily promoted that the Huawei Y9 has a dual lens selfie camera. So let's check it out. Okay guys, so here we have the Honor 8X and Huawei Y9 both in its selfie mode. So you can see here that under photo mode, both of it look very similar. However, when you go to portrait mode, you'll notice that at the bottom left, there is this function here that helps you to add the bokeh feature at the back. So notice that when you tap it, it'll say bokeh disabled, but if you tap it again, it'll say bokeh enabled. So what this essentially does is it blurs out the background behind you, and since the Y9 has a dual lens camera, technically it should produce some more realistic bokeh effect. So let's check out the sample photos. Okay, so looking at these photos side by side, we notice that both cameras are able to do a very good job at blurring out the background. It looks soft and it looks very natural in my opinion. But if you look closely, for the Honor 8X, notice that my hair at the top, some parts are actually blurred out. So it is not as accurate as the Huawei Y9, where the blurring is very perfectly done and my hair looks fine. It doesn't look blurred out. So I guess if you are very particular about the selfies you take, then maybe you should go for the Huawei Y9, as it will give you a very nice bokeh effect. Okay guys, now that we've reached the end of the video, it's time to determine which device is the better device for you. Obviously, these are both very good looking devices, as you can see here, with their stunning colors, and it is really unique among the other devices currently in the market. Anyway, although the Huawei Y9 and Honor 8X are extremely similar to one another, there is still one or two distinguishing features that may win your heart over. So far, we can conclude that performance, display, and pricing for both these devices are more or less the same. The main distinguishing features here are the build quality, the battery, and the camera setups. So essentially, if you're the kind of guy who likes to take a lot of selfies and need a slightly bigger battery, go for the Huawei Y9. However, if you're like me, who takes a lot of photos with the main camera, appreciates a nicely built phone, and personally prefers the design of the 8X over the Y9, then you should go for the Honor 8X. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions regarding the Huawei Y9 or the Honor 8X, please leave them in the comment sections below and I'll try to answer you as soon as possible. Also, I will be uploading new videos every week, every weekend, at least I try to, and I'll be reviewing more phones as they come by. I am still pretty new to this recording videos and doing reviews thing, so if there is anything that you really dislike, please bear with me. I'm trying to improve, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!